Hey everyone, Coach Investor back to another video for today. So we need to talk about the YouTube and NFL deal. It was announced yesterday. It's worth around $2 billion every year for around 7 years. Now, did they overpay? Is it a good deal? Are they going to lose money on it? What's the whole thought process behind that announcement? We're going to talk about that in this video. Obviously, do share your thoughts down in the comments below. I've seen the pros, I've listened to the cons as well, but I would love to hear what your thoughts on it. Are you or were you a DirecTV subscriber? Because DirecTV was paying $1.5 billion a year. Never turned a profit because they needed around 20% of their satellite customers to pay for it. Never reached that number. It was more around 15%. So maybe YouTube can do better. Maybe YouTube doesn't care about losing money when it comes to this deal. Maybe they're using this deal to maybe acquire more subscribers and, well, for those subscribers to discover YouTube TV, the premium channels as well. And that way, in the long run, they'll get their money back and maybe even more. So we're going to discuss all of that in this video. Now, if you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not. Would really appreciate that. And if you want to support me and this channel, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment to get the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to full.com/couchinvestor and make sure to check out all the other links in the pinned comment. Now, YouTube TV, how many users, how many subscribers do they have? Last reported number was around 5 million subscribers. DirecTV, approximately 2 million subscribers for that Sunday ticket. Now, DirecTV overall, around 13 million or so, but they are losing. Now, DirecTV was offering two services, one for $300 and then the other one max for $400. So let's say we take the middle, we take $350. Let's say, best case scenario, all 5 million YouTube TV subscribers are paying for that, which means you're reaching a number that is around $1.75 billion, short of that $2 billion that YouTube has to pay each and every year. Of course, let's add a couple of million here and there, maybe tens of millions as well when it comes to advertising. Probably you'll still be a bit short on that number. So what happens? Well, let's say they do the overall thing just $400. Then yes, you're reaching that $2 billion, but you're just breaking even. That's not to say that it's going to cost $400. Actually, you don't really know how much it's going to cost. That just remains to be seen. That's probably what the market is also looking out for. But YouTube being YouTube, they know a thing or two about ads, and they know a thing or two about, well, using that funnel to drive maybe more subscription and to drive more people through the whole YouTube TV, YouTube premium channel path. Now, we do already have two notes, one from Piper Sandler and one from Citi. So the analyst at Citi believes that the Sunday ticket could accelerate adoption of more subscription services. For context, Josie pointed to Amazon's success with its inaugural season of Thursday Night Football, which he believes is converting Prime Video into both an acquisition and retention tool for Prime. While he acknowledges the partnership is likely to impact overall margins in the short term, he looks for improved top-line growth and greater subscription revenue over time and reiterates a buy rating and $120 price target. Right now it's just short of $90, I believe. Then we have one from Piper Sandler. So he views the news as positive and as a move that likely accelerates the push towards over-the-top time spent and ad dollars moving to streaming. He would expect a drag on margins, at least initially, given the upfront cost, but with Alphabet's scale and infrastructure, he would imagine they are well positioned to drive profitable margins in time. Reiterates overweight rating and 122 price target. Now, if they're paying $2 billion a year for 7 years, that's $14 billion, that's just a bit short than 1 quarter's worth of free cash flow. Now, touching back on those two notes, I do agree that sports, I've been saying this for years now, sports is the last line of defense for cable. Once all of sports has moved to streaming, it's done. Linear TV is going to die very, very fast. Streaming is going to take off. Now, if streaming is going to take off, what will happen with the ad dollars? Obviously, they're not going to stay in cable because nobody's there anymore. So that will flow into streaming, not just for YouTube, but in this case, let's talk about YouTube. YouTube as a whole is obviously a huge ad business. YouTube TV, now with the NFL ticket, obviously will drive even more ad dollars to that. Now, touching on another important point that they mentioned is that the fact that maybe right now you are not a subscriber of YouTube TV, maybe you are a DirecTV subscriber and you're paying for that Sunday ticket right there. Now that they're switching for next season, maybe you are going to subscribe to YouTube TV and you are going to discover all the possibilities there because you can add extra channels, which we're going to talk about right now. But first, a couple of announcements here that were made. So through this expanded partnership with the NFL, viewers will now also be able to experience the game they love in compelling and innovative ways through YouTube TV or YouTube Primetime channels, which, by the way, this is the part where you can add extra channels for an extra cost, which I believe a lot of people didn't even know that existed, which could be a huge boost for YouTube. They're excited to continue their work with the NFL to make YouTube a great place for sports lovers everywhere. Also, since YouTube is digital, which means anybody with an internet connection can watch this, it makes it more accessible around the world or just around the United States as well. For scheduling times, makes it also much easier. Talking about scheduling times, talking about bars, restaurants, this is also a factor that you have to calculate in your, let's say, hypothetical model. They talk about that as well here. So the NFL and YouTube will work together to determine additional ways to support distribution of NFL Sunday ticket in commercial establishments such as bars and restaurants. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know exactly what the pricing is if you're a bar or a sports bar or a restaurant, but it's probably much different than when you're just home alone. If you have any knowledge on that, do let me know down in the comments below. Now remember, in that calculation at the start, I said you could add some extra ad dollars. So we're touching on that right now. So the NFL reached a multi-billion-dollar deal with YouTube to stream Sunday ticket games, a sprawling package of football that will open a new source of ad inventory on YouTube. The local ad inventory is something that YouTube will monetize. The national ads will be flowing through YouTube from what CBS and Fox are otherwise showing. YouTube will stream the ads that come through the national TV broadcaster, and it will fill the percentage of ad slots that otherwise would go to the local network affiliates. YouTube will set the pricing, but details of the cost to consumer have not been released yet. YouTube TV typically has a base cost of $64.99 per month, but the price differs according to promotions and how many add-on channels viewer pick. Google has plenty of experience selling YouTube TV ad inventory, as it already gets a percentage of commercial slots on channels that stream there. Which goes on to my next open question, let's say. We don't know how much this is going to cost, but I do feel that they're not going to lower the price. I don't think it's going to be less than $300, less than what DirecTV was offering. I also don't think that they'll make it much more expensive, because that's a way to scare away new subscribers. So I do believe that $350 might be the sweet spot, let's say, and maybe in the coming years that will just be increasing and increasing as more and more subscribers come in, as more and more ad dollars flow in as well. They can measure their success, so maybe that's when they'll just hike the price up. And so let's try and make sense of this whole deal. Right now, 5 million YouTube TV subscribers, right? DirecTV had 1.5 million Sunday ticket subscribers. Now, of course, some of those might already be YouTube TV subscribers. They might come and buy that Sunday ticket from YouTube, and then maybe they might discover other channels that they'd like to buy as well. There is this a la carte option, something that they launched not so long ago, and that's one way to drive a bit more revenue to that YouTube, let's say, ecosystem. That's one way to think about it. The other way to think about it is just the endless possibilities that you can have now that you have that, let's say, shiny optionality, that Sunday ticket. Because NFL is pretty popular in the United States, right? I mean, once you have that, ad dollars flow in. You can maybe do something with advertisement. You can do something with more stats. Because obviously now that it's on YouTube, you just need internet connection. You can watch multiple games at the same time, maybe even on the same screen. Maybe they'll add some promotions. Who knows? Maybe in the years to come, you might even do some online gambling live If there is an integration, I don't know, but the possibilities are there. Maybe Google might acquire a company which is in sports betting, etc. Might happen. But yes, I do have to agree that currently the way it looks, it's an expensive, let's say shiny new object that Google has acquired for the next 7 years. Might it work? I don't know why, but my phone just woke up just because I said Google. It happens all the time. But
first you have to unlock your device.
Anyways, Google probably calculated the pros and cons. Of course, in the short term, it will hurt margins. In the long term, if this is successful, it will drive meaningful profits in years and years for YouTube, but Google as a whole as well. And if it flops, then yes, then Google has paid $2 billion, so around $14 to $15 billion by the end of this deal. Let's see what happens. Obviously, it's not going to be $14 billion that goes down the drain. No, there are probably going to be millions of people buying this thing. Let's see how many. Now, talking about another point, let's say, and with that I'll end and then just look at the graph real quick with regards to negotiations with the likes of Roku. If this is a huge success, if this is attracting a lot of ad dollars, then maybe next time that Google YouTube will negotiate with the likes of an OS like Roku, they'll probably have the upper hand because what they can show, look, people will only use the OS if there is that YouTube TV app because we're so successful. Maybe now the percentage is going to be more in our favor, less in your favor. Could happen. Something to consider if you're a Roku shareholder. Now, before we end, let's have a look at the graph real quick. All right, so right now we're sitting just under $90. As you can see in the last couple of weeks, as we've seen with other companies as well we've covered on this channel, you can see here rejected multiple times the 20 and the 50-day moving average. When that happens, usually a sell-off follows. That's exactly what we've seen here. But then again, the overall market has been selling off as well. But it does help some time to look at the technicals here. RSI sits at 37, not much to say there. Then the MACD has now been turned a bit bearish. The week has ended right now, Christmas, Sunday, then next week, the end of the year, probably lower volume. Let's see what happens there. Would love to see a green candle to end the year. So to conclude, while this deal might be a huge win for YouTube in the long run, right now there are probably more question marks than answers. Obviously, do let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think about this deal? Is this a huge win? Is this a big question mark? Or is this negative? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up and subscribe if you have not. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.